You're in the galleries of the Leepa-Rattner Museum of Art, where we are just opening up a new exhibition called An Art's Legacy, George Inness Jr. in Tarpon Springs. And this is an exhibition that is honoring the legacy of George Inness Jr., who resided in Tarpon Springs in the winter months from 1902 to 1926.
This exhibit in itself encapsulates Tarpon Springs in many, many ways. Not only the beauty of Tarpon Springs, but also bringing together the history and all the other nuances. I think this is the first time that there's been a really major exhibit for many, many, many years.
It's overwhelming. I mean, it truly is. He's a really talented man. And when you see the paintings in the church, the ones that came from the church, it just is it's a magnificent, wonderful space.
The George Inness Jr. paintings and their association with our church actually began in 1918. There was a terrible hurricane that blew out, it just came in right off the Gulf and it blew out the windows on the west side of the church. It is believed that Julia Inness was the sort of planner in the family, and so rather than replacing the glass, she said, well, let's have George paint some pictures, and apparently when she says paint, that's what George would do. And he painted the promise, fulfillment, and realization.
George Inness Jr. believed that art should reflect a personal response to nature. He was a spiritual man, and he was at a time when Cubism and Futurism were the new directions in art, and he wanted to see that there was an art that showed craftsmanship, that showed a response to nature, and not tried to go against nature as he saw with modern art. So there was a strong aesthetic bend to the work that he was creating. And I think the paintings that he did here reflect an artist who is at ease. Soft edge, mid-tonalities of a palette, always an emphasis on the sky. And the sky is a transcendent record for him. He often didn't date his paintings because he wanted his paintings to transcend a period of time. We tried to respect the reverentiality of these paintings and created a tranquil space in which they are shown.
To be actually able to see all of this together, and at this time when the church itself needed really a place to place its paintings because they were doing serious renovation and restoration work at the church. I think George Inness Jr. would say that God was watching over his paintings.
What I think the exhibit does is show what outstanding painter that Inness was and how he painted so many beautiful scenes of Tarpon Springs. And it also shows the true beauty of the Anklet River and the Spring Bayou that we sometimes can take for granted. But if you step back a second and look at those paintings, you can still see it in today when you look at those same places.
This exhibit is a wonderful opportunity to highlight the tremendous artistic talent we have in Tarpon Springs. We're very fortunate that Innes's stayed in Tarpon Springs, and we have many of their pieces here today. And this exhibit is also celebrating some of our more current artists like Christopher Still and Joseph Weinsettle, Elizabeth Indianos. And so it gives Tampa Bay a reason to visit Tarpon Springs and see the wonderful local talent we have here and the tremendous offerings of art that we have.